Hey guys, welcome back. Today's practice is a simple one, but it's all about moving your body, creating some blood flow in the body, but without overthinking it too much. So we're going to get started in a seated position. So come down to find an easy seat. When you have found your seated position, go ahead and take your arms out by your sides. On an inhale, start to raise the right arm up towards the sky. And then exhale, side bend to the left. And so maybe you look down at the left hand and just feel that stretch along the right side of the body. Take an inhale to raise the right arm back up. And exhale, release the right hand down to the mat. Inhale, reach the left arm up. Exhale, side bend to the right. And again, maybe looking down at the right hand this time, feeling into the left side body. Inhale, reach the left arm up. And exhale, release that left hand all the way down. Let's take an inhale, raise both arms up overhead. And exhale, turn to the right, find a little twist. So my left hand can come to my right knee here. Right hand can go behind you, kind of acting as a little kickstand. So keeping the spine nice and long, trying not to have the chest collapse down. So really keep the chest nice and open here. Take an inhale to look the head forward. And exhale, unwind the body slowly. Inhale, reach both arms up overhead, and exhale, turn to the left. Maybe right hand to left knee, left hand behind you. Find a little spinal twist here. Take an inhale to look the head forward, and exhale, unwind the body. Coming back to the seated position here, let's take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, and exhale, bring the hands in front of you, finding a nice little forward fold here. So allow your head to just kind of hang and be heavy. Now maybe you might be reaching down through the hands, sort of pushing the hands away, feeling a little bit more into the hips. And just allowing that tension to release from the neck. And then on your inhale, start to walk your hands back towards your body, coming to an upright position. And then let's make our way to a tabletop. So coming to a tabletop position, just feel into the hands, feel into the body. So maybe you start to make some movements side to side, swaying the hips. Maybe perhaps you start to move forward and backward, feeling a little bit more stretch into the wrists. Really just taking whatever movement here feels good in your body. You might even want to start moving kind of like a snake, maybe making a figure 8 with the body. And start to notice how you're breathing here. So see if you can seal the lips so you're inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Nice, slow, long breaths. Now let's find some stillness here in our tabletop. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's take a moment to tuck the toes under. Take an inhale here to lengthen the spine. And then exhale, start to sink the hips back towards the heels. And feeling that stretch through the toes, the ankles. And taking another inhale to come back to tabletop, keeping the toes tucked. And then on your next exhale, start to lift the knees, lift the hips high, coming to a downward facing dog. So you might need to adjust your feet from here. And I'm just looking in between my feet there. So my fingers are nice and wide, help with stability and balance. Let's take an inhale to rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Step forward. Take as many steps as you need to. We're going to come to a forward fold here. So coming to a forward fold. Feel free to also bend the knees as much as you need to. Let's take an inhale for a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, extend and mountain, get nice and tall. And exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank position. And feel free to take a modified plank here with the knees lowered. So feel free to lower the knees, tops of the feet, and elbows in close to the ribs. Take an exhale to lower all the way down. Inhale, lift the head, the chest, finding a little baby cobra. And exhale, release all the way down to the mat. Inhale, pushing through the hands, coming up to a tabletop position and pausing there. So you might need to walk your knees in closer to your hands, coming back to your tabletop position, but just finding a neutral tabletop here. We're going to start to step the right foot forward. So the right foot is going to be outside of the right hand. So you might find more of a lizard lunge here, but just start to find a low lunge or that lizard lunge where you can have some space in front of you on your mat where you can allow the pelvis to sink down. And sometimes that can feel so good, just allowing yourself to not hold on to any tension in the hips and in the pelvis and just allowing gravity to do its job and sinking the pelvis down. And so from here, start to plant down through that left hand. Take an inhale, reach up through the right arm. And then exhale, set the right hand back down. Tuck the back toe under, lift the back knee. Step this right foot back. We're going to come back to downward dog. So feel free to move nice and slow here. Again, not really overthinking these movements. Just feeling into the body. Let's take an inhale, rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step forward to your forward fold. Take as many steps there as you need to. Come back to your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And we're going to pause here for a few breaths. So find a place along the legs where maybe you can just rest the hands. So whether that be down towards your ankles or up farther along your thighs. Finding a spot there where you can lengthen from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. Find that length and spine in the space, find the length and space in the spine. That can be a tongue twister there. So let's take another inhale here and exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. Step back to your plank position or modified plank with knees down. And on your exhale, just go ahead and lower all the way down to the mat. Taking an inhale for that back bend. So lifting the head and the chest, baby cobra. Exhale, release all the way down. Inhale, come up onto the hands and knees. And then take a moment to come back to that tabletop. So repositioning yourself with wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And then whenever you're ready, stepping that left foot forward on the outside of the left hand. Find that low lunge or that lizard pose. Allow the pelvis to sink down. And sometimes when we allow our bodies just to open up, it can feel so nice. So let go of that tension. Let go of any overthinking or any thoughts that might not be serving to you right now. And start to plant down through the right hand. Take an inhale, reach up through the left arm. And exhale, bring that left hand back down to the mat. Tucking the back toe under, lift the back knee. We're going to step the left foot back, downward facing dog. And again, just finding the length in the spine. Feel free to bend the knees as much as you need to get that length in the spine. Really rooting down through the hands. Let's take an inhale to come up onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Step forward to find that forward fold. So easy forward fold, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, extend and mountain, get nice and tall. And exhale, bend your knees, finding a chair pose. So sinking down here, take a moment to notice how your weight is distributed into your feet. So if you notice that your weight is more into the balls of the feet, take a moment to send the weight into the heels. And you might want to bring hands to heart center as you just focus on the feet. Focus on grounding down through the feet. Maybe you start to sink the hips down a little bit more there. Whenever you're ready, we're going to take an inhale to straighten the legs, reach up, get nice and tall again. And exhale, release your hands down by your sides. Let's take a moment to put the weight into the right foot. Pick up that left foot, step it back. We're going to find warrior one on this side. So finding a warrior one, bend in that front knee. My left toes are turned out about 45 degrees. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, bend the elbows, find cactus arms. So really feeling the chest opening up here. You might feel a gentle stretch along the pecs. On your next inhale, start to raise the arms up overhead. And then exhale, bring your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and start to bring your shoulder blades together, and then drawing the hands down the sit bones. And so just taking a moment here to notice how this feels. And so we're going to slowly come to a humble warrior. So we're going to take this nice and slow here. So on an inhale, start to lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, start to hinge forward, but notice how the abdomen comes first. So I want to slowly come forward, and go slow because gravity is going to take over here. So we just want to allow the abdomen, the torso, to rest on that right thigh. And then maybe your right shoulder can come down to that right knee. But just finding a humble warrior that works best for you right here, right now. So maybe you don't come all the way down, but you come down maybe halfway. That's totally fine. Meeting your body where it's at. And so on your next inhale, drive down through that right foot. We're going to take an inhale to come back up, lifting the torso back up. And then unlace the fingers there. Take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up through the arms. And exhale, hands to heart center. Let's take a moment to put a little micro bend in that back knee. We're going to step forward. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bend the knees, forward fold. So coming back to an easy forward fold here. Inhale to your halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's plant the hands, step back to your plank or your modified plank with the knees down. And so whatever version you're taking there, on an exhale, start to slowly lower on down. Inhale to find your back bend. So maybe you'll come up a little bit more for a cobra pose, or keeping that baby cobra, whatever works best for your body. And then on your next exhale, just slowly lowering all the way down. Inhale, pushing through the hands, come up to tabletop. Tuck the toes, and on your exhale, come to downward facing dog. Maybe looking in between the feet. And feel free to maybe even pedal out the feet here. So sometimes that can feel nice to add that little bit of movement as you go through the flow. And let's find some stillness again in our downward dog. Taking an inhale to rise up on the toes. Exhale, bend the knees. Step forward, easy forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Extend and mountain, get nice and tall. Exhale, bend the knees, find that chair pose. Few breaths here, so try to keep that slow, steady breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. And on your next inhale, so start to straighten your legs, reach for the sky. And exhale, just release your arms down by your side. So we're going to go ahead and shift the weight into that left foot. Pick up the right foot, step it back. We're going to find warrior one on this side now. So bend in that left knee. My back toes are pointed towards the upper right edge of my mat now. And just keeping a check in with the hip bones. So making sure that they're pointed straight towards the front of the mat there. Sometimes it can even be nice to have your hands on your hip bones just to kind of notice where they want to fall. So coming back to your warrior one, let's take an inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, bend the elbows, find the cactus arms here on this side. Notice that gentle stretch along the chest and the pecs. Take a moment to bring some awareness to your feet, keeping you in the strong warrior one position, driving down through the feet. We're going to take an inhale to reach the arms up overhead. And exhale, bring the hands behind you, interlace those fingers, draw the shoulder blades together. And then just bring your hands down. So just drawing your hands down towards your sit bones. And so we're going to come to this humble warrior on this side. And go slow. So taking an inhale here, lengthen through the spine. And exhale, starting to hinge forward, going slow. Drive down through that left foot. And just allow the abdomen to come down first. And then maybe that left shoulder to the left knee. Finding a warrior, a humble warrior. I don't know why I want to get that mixed up right now. And so here I like to look down at my left foot just to bring some awareness there. Few breaths here. Notice how this feels in your body. And so start to drive down through that left foot. On an inhale, we're going to start to slowly come back up to an upright position. Release the hands, and on an inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, bend the elbows, find cactus arms. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Put a little micro bend in that back knee. Step forward. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, bend the knees forward, fold. Inhale to a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and plant the hands and just come down onto your knees. So we're going to come down to hands and knees. We're going to take a few cat-cows here. So on an inhale, start to lower the belly and lift the chin and the gaze. And on an exhale, just start to round the spine, bringing your chin towards the chest. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the chin and the gaze. And exhale, chin to chest, and the spine naturally starts to round there. One more time. Inhale, lower the belly, finding your cow pose. And exhale, round the spine, finding your cat pose, pushing down through the hands. And inhale, just come back to your neutral tabletop there. Take another inhale here to lengthen through the spine. And then exhale, start to shift back into the heels. We're going to come to a child's pose. So feel free to keep the knees together and the feet together, or keeping the feet together and the knees wide creates more space for you in front of your mat there. So just finding a version here of child's pose that you can take and stay with for a couple of breaths. And also, if the arms are feeling a little bit fussy here, feel free to just bring the knees together and the feet together. One hand can be planted on top of the other, and just allowing the forehead to rest down on top of the hands. Kind of coming to a little child's pose where you're more rolled up into a ball. But just know that whatever version you're taking, allow yourself to really stay here in your practice. And maybe just start to focus on your breath. Feel your breath into the back side of your body. Noticing how on your inhales, the rib cage expands out to the side. And then on your exhales, the body contracts and softens. And so, whenever you're ready, using your next inhale, come back up to a tabletop position. And then let's slowly make our way into an easy seat, bringing the soles of our feet together. So start to bring the soles of your feet together. We're going to find a seated butterfly pose. So I like to wrap my hands around my feet, but feel free to just have your arms out, resting on your knees or your legs. And then just decide whether you feel like you want to have your spine more lengthened here, or if you want to start to round the spine and having a little bit of a forward fold. So whatever version you choose there, see if you can just stay with the practice again. And if you are forward folded, see if you can allow the head to hang and the neck to be heavy. Parting the teeth so there's no tension in the jaw. Allow the sides of the neck to soften. Come back to slow, steady breath. And then on your next inhale, come back to an upright position. And then planting your hands behind you, step your feet pretty wide, wider than your hips distance. We're going to just windshield the knees side to side. So windshield wipe, bring the knees side to side. Taking your time at first, so really feeling into the movement and allowing yourself to maybe even coordinate this with the breath. So on an inhale, you might bring your knees back up to center, and then exhale as you release the knees to one side. Inhale, bring the knees back up to center. And exhale, release the knees to the opposite side. So feel free to take that version, or just finding a version here where you're just simply moving side to side. Maybe that might feel better. There's no right or wrong here, just whatever feels good in your body. Few more times here, side to side. And then let's come back to our easy seat position as we close out this practice. So maybe you take a moment to close down the eyes and reflect on how the practice has affected you. Just inviting in this little bit of movement. So maybe you use this as a morning pick-me-up, or if you need to move throughout your day and have this time, maybe perhaps on your lunch break. Just taking this time for you. Take a few deep breaths there. And then whenever you're ready, bring your arms out by your sides. Take an inhale, raise the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring hands to heart center. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope this was what you needed. Namaste.